Need Pokemon Go PvP coaching? Well, I'm on Metafy, so click the link in the video description, it'll take you right to my page. What's up guys, I am back. Sorry about that. I was on a week-long vacation last week, and I didn't really have time to play games and certainly didn't have the ability to upload some videos, but here we have it, a leaderboard push team. Yes, that's right, it's still a week and a half before my final leaderboard push, or so you thought. This is the team, this is the push, this is some very exciting stuff. But before we get into it, huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. I could not be doing this without you guys. Yeah, let's start the video and I'll talk a little bit about what we have coming up next week. So because these are the last games I'll have played in the season, this will have taken me up to front page on the leaderboards. And I should be still on there by the end of it. I can't really deal with these queue times anymore. They're kind of extremely long. I figured I would end my push here. And honestly, focus a little bit more on coaching for this last week and a half. And as far as videos go, don't worry, there's not going to be another week-long black hole, or maybe there might be, but the videos coming up next week, I'm going to have a little bit more time, so I'll be able to focus on some mechanics videos and some strategies videos, which I haven't been able to put out for a while. I know a lot of you guys might be very excited for those. They take a little bit more work, but I think they're definitely more helpful to the overall, I guess, gameplay for you guys. Anyways, let's get into this team. This is an ABB-esque team in Kanto Cup. We've got Lickitung in the lead, Shadow Beedrill as the swap, and Primeape as the closer. I really like this team. I'm glad it succeeded. On paper, it just looks so good. Shadow Beedrill baits out almost everything you want it to bait out for Primeape. Out comes the Hypno, out comes the Pidgeot. Primeape ideally will never have to see any of those. On the stuff that Primeape might have to see that it doesn't like, for example, Nidoqueen, it's got coverage with Ice Punch, so if you can orchestrate a farm down on something like a Chansey or a Lickitung, you can still win those games. These games are also very quick, that's the advantage. As far as a safe swap goes, there isn't really one on this team. You kind of choose which Pokemon is the worst, the second best matchup against their lead, and before you swap it in. So, for example, against the fighter leads, you're going to want to swap in your Primeape. Against something like Alolan Sandslash, you're going to want to swap in Beedrill, stuff like that. In this game, we had a Mew lead. This entire team beats Mew, so when they swap in this Dewgong, I really don't mind staying in a little bit and tanking some Icy Winds. I want to set my Primeape up for a nice farm down because I know that the Mew will want to come back in on it. So if I have some Night Slashes ready to go, then I'm going to be able to take down this Mew. In this case, Mew and Dewgong, I was kind of scared there might be something like a Chansey in the back, and I kind of showed my hand a little bit early and forced my Primeape, or Chansey or Lickitung in the back, because it's fighting weak, right? So you'd think they want to be baiting out the fighting weak Pokemon. In this case, my Primeape has enough of an energy advantage from this Dewgong to be able to win the 2-shield here if I wanted to, but instead, I will let my Primeape go down. I'm able to come in with either my Lickitung or my Beedrill and get that energy advantage. In this case, it's going to be Lickitung, and they're going to swap into their Lapras. I'll throw this Power Whip, and with 2 shields, Beedrill should be in a pretty comfortable position here. All I will have to do is land a Drill Run. Looks like they're maybe going for a Skull Bash or something. They're charging up quite a bit. This Drill Run does a lot of damage. Beedrill's such a good Pokemon, and obviously this game is over. Doesn't matter if they threw their move. I have shields. Yeah, a lot of times Beedrill sweeping, a lot of times Primeape is sweeping, so it really is an interesting team. You're going to want to tank a lot of these moves on Lickitung. Oh, this game. Yeah, so this game was an exercise in learning to swap out when you should. So in this case, letting a Lickitung take that discharge is good, but I think my mistake here comes from letting Lickitung take a second discharge and getting a little bit too low against the Electrode. Even though I'm able to force this shield or take out the Electrode and win switch, my Lickitung is now too low to take out the Hypno in the back. So the entire point of this ABB team is to draw out the Hypno or the Pidgeot, and if the Lickitung doesn't have enough HP to deal with it, ABB just fails. The benefit of Shadow Beedrill here is that you can actually guarantee taking a shield off of Hypno unless they throw. So we're gonna grab that shield. Lickitung is gonna have a move, so I have to smash that button right away. I know they're gonna be smashing theirs too, but it's, oh, and my button doesn't even appear. So that's interesting. Didn't have a shot at getting it off, but either way, oh, I didn't have it anyways. So yeah, I should have farmed up before switching out, but it is what it is. And then in the back, they've got Ninetales, and unfortunately, because I had to shield my Lickitung, against the Hypno. I don't have 2 shields for my Primeape to be able to win not only this matchup, but then the subsequent Electrode matchup, where they have a little bit of health remaining. Yeah. And that's how that one goes. Still made it close, though. So I really do believe if I swapped a little bit earlier, well, Lickitung, I could have won this game. Yeah, elephant in the room is Pidgeot here. Nothing really beats Pidgeot on the team. It's kind of a team effort. You're going to see 1 or 2 Pidgeots. I don't see too many. Okay, so we have a fighter lead here. You see I swap into Primeape this time, and this is why we're running Night Slash. Both Primeape and Shadow Beedrill with these movesets have incredibly good coverage and are great save swaps. In this case, I'm going to no-shield my Primeape. Worst case, it's a Shadow Bone I can lick down. Best case, it's a Bone Club and they try and farm down. But if they try to farm down, what they're going to do is lose Switch or Shields. In this case, Primeape's able to barely take down that Alolan Marowak. We're going to see what comes back in. But winning Switch here, honestly, kind of a big deal with this Machamp, because one of the biggest counters to Machamp in the entire game, as long as you have at least 1 shield, is Beedrill. So in this case, they have 2 Pokemon that Beedrill is better against. So I kind of regret throwing this drill run. I should just swap right away, because I think at the end of the day, an X-Scissor might have been enough after the Body Slams go through. So not offsetting the switch timer here would be good. I should have swapped right away to Lickitung and just save Beedrill and my shields for Beedrill, of course, but Beedrill specifically for Machamp here. So they're going to throw another move. I'm saving energy because I think they're going to swap back into Machamp, but the timer isn't quite up yet. I have 2 Body Slams because I think that's what might happen. No, they still stay in. And then, like I said, X-Scissor would have been enough from this range. I'm going with Beedrill. Just shield up the Alolan Sandslash. And throw the X-Scissor here just to make sure they burn this shield. If I get the shield down, it should be easy to take down this Machamp, but if not, then I can just Poison Jab down the Machamp. Beedrill, probably the most underrated Machamp counter in the entire game. You double resist fighting, so you're essentially Ghost type in the eyes of Pokemon Go typing. Like, look at that cross chop. Does nothing. So even though they baited and got a cross chop off, Beedrill's still able to take down Machamp in this case. But that was a much closer game. They realized they didn't need to win Switch because they had 2 answers for Lickitung. Alright, Mew lead. This is absolutely fantastic. And in comes Lickitung. We're going to come with Primeape. That was a slow switch, so we're not doing that. We don't want the slow switch. We want a faster switch. As soon as you see that normal type come in, definitely go in with Primeape. Luckily, I'm saved by the boost. You don't have to shield this unless it's a Power Whip, and that's if you swap slow. So good on my opponent for actually knowing I don't have to shield a Body Slam and going for switch. In comes Mew, and because of the boost, this is absolutely terrifying for them. It's likely a Chansey in the back though, just because Lickitung swap always comes with Chansey, and because I have this energy advantage once again on this Mew, I should be able to win this matchup and lay a severe beatdown on Chansey before it's able to get it off. So people at 3,400, you thought Chansey was bad. At 2,900, people at 3,400, 3,500 are running a ton of Chansey. A lot of the leaderboard players that aren't myself are running Chansey. Yeah, out comes Chansey against boosted Primeape. They've played their games too long. Like, their games are too long. They just want out, right? But yeah, we're gonna head up to 34, 39. This first set was played like a week ago in Toronto or something like that, but these are recent games starting now. We have a Shadow Dragonair lead. This might be a more accurate representation of the meta, not the Shadow Dragonair, just these specific games. In comes Ninetales, and I really should have baited because it's Shadow. I'm not going to be able to get my second move off. Also, notice my Beedrill is not Shadow. Mistake. I forgot to change it. Very hard to see when Pokemon Go doesn't really tell you which Pokemon are Shadow and which aren't, so you can see I made it to a X-Scissor and a Drill Run. If I Shadow Beedrill, I don't think I make it there, so throwing the Drill Run would have been the correct play, but I did not realize I had a non-Shadow Beedrill. By the way, I know this question will be asked. Non-Shadow Beedrill, it does work. So the main issue with non-Shadow Beedrill was it versus Umbreon, and now it's not too big of a deal. Yeah, unfortunately we're gonna get hard countered with the Hypno in the back, and even though it's not regular Beedrill's fault, I'm gonna blame it on regular Beedrill here. But this was my first set in a week. The rust is definitely evident. I don't know why my opponent is not finishing me off. That's a BM right there. But even if they are lagging, I'm not going to take that free win. We're just going to exit out. All right, Machamp lead. We're going to go into Primeape here. Remember, if your opponent has a fighter lead, you want to go into Primeape. Definitely shield, right? This cross chop is going to take you out. Night Slash is resisted, so you need to get the Machamp lower. I'm going to throw at 4, hopefully try to deny their fast move, but it does not work. And they try and farm me down. But Primeape is going to be able to grab 2 shields here, and this is all you can really ask out of a switch. And CMP tie. So Primeape actually wins CMP against Machamp. Fantastic to know if you're going to play this team. I don't think my opponent knew. And I'm going to come in with Beedrill, and this is going to be a nice comfortable farm down here. Almost no damage from those counters, and in comes Lickitung. Gonna catch a move on my Lickitung. Remember, if you're playing against opponent Lickitungs, it's 6 2-turn fast moves, and they're gonna come in with their Alolan Muck. So this is something that Shadow Beedrill absolutely loves to see. I do have a shield advantage on Beedrill, so as long as I can get this Alolan Muck kind of low, I don't need to shield this Lickitung. Just need to save everything for Beedrill. Unfortunately, I wasn't counting, so I don't know if this Alolan Muck is going to be at its next Dark Pulse yet. So in order to not take any chances, we're going to spam that X Scissor button as we come back in. Beedrill will obviously win CMP, take out the Alolan Muck, and then it's just a matter of 1 shield versus Lickitung. And in this case, I probably should have gone for the double X Scissor. It would have been enough, but I went for the Drill Run instead, knowing that if I was counting the licks right, I should be able to get to a Drill Run and an X Scissor at the same time they get to do Body Slams, and I caught their first Body Slam. So Beedrill wins CMP. I should be able to get to both moves, unless the game lags, of course. So Beedrill once again going to carry me across the finish line here. I guess also just quick reminder, if you guys have watched this far, consider subbing to the channel. I'm almost at 10,000 subs. I would really love to hit that milestone. Honestly, it would be fantastic. But either way, if you don't, that's fine. In this game, we have the Fabled Pidgeot counter switch, and we'll show how it might have been possible to win this game. Spoilers, it's very hard. In this case, Shadow Beedrill will get to 2 X Scissors, and the Poison Jab damage and the X Scissors, which they won't want to shield, are enough to get it very low. Unfortunately, this Pidgeot has a huge farm down, so it's Lickitung's job to come in and kind of soak this damage, regardless of if it's a Brave Bird or a Feather Dance. They actually go for the Feather Dance first, and which is great. I would love to preserve this health on my Lickitung, so I'm gonna grab the Body Slam shield here because they're clearly going for this this Brave Bird. I'm gonna let it through. My Lickitung has done its job, and in comes their Lickitung. I am going to farm this thing all the way down. Primeape is the MVP. I can't afford to take a Body Slam if I want to farm all the way down, and I figure if they have something like Nidoqueen in the back, I may be able to win just by throwing Ice Punches here. Because they have 1 shield, I can make it to 2 Ice Punches versus Nidoqueen. Sorry, 3 Ice Punches versus Nidoqueen before they get there. Yeah, you can farm all the way down against Lickitung with 2 shields. In comes Pidgeot. We're going to take it down. And then in comes Gyarados, and this is where I make a fatal mistake. I throw the Night Slash. I should have thrown the Ice Punch first because the Ice Punch is not going to get shielded due to the fact that nobody wants to shield the first Night Slash and get boosted on. And once again, I go for the CMP tie, but it's not going to be enough. I'm not going to be able to get that 4th and final Night Slash off. I probably should have just thrown the Ice Punch. It would have been close. I don't know if I would have won this game. Ice Punch doesn't actually hit that much harder than Night Slash, but it just goes to show you can beat Pidgeot, even though I didn't here. You're seeing a lot of Pidgeot maybe don't run the team, but honestly, he has such a good matchup against the rest of the meta. In comes Lapras. This time I'm playing it a little bit different than I did a week ago. We're going into Primeape right away, just because this matchup is nice. Gonna shield once, and then wuss out and not farm all the way down. If I swapped a little bit faster. Against Shadow, you can do it. No, you can't. So we're gonna instead shield twice. This is fine. I probably should have thrown 2 Night Slashes instead if I swapped fast enough. But shields down is kind of scary. I do have a Lickitung to soak up whatever farms down my Primeape. In this case, it's Mew. So gonna hit it with Night Slash, another Night Slash. 2 Night Slashes is all you need from Mew, and we'll see what's in the back. It's likely weak to fighting, so it is confirmed, and then that's why they stay in to take the Primeape down and shield. And it's an Alolan Sand Slash, so I'm just hoping they throw right away. Nothing really matters on this Lickitung. I'm just looking up right now. Everything is going to come down to the Shadow Beedrill landing of Drill Run. So if they bank some energy, that was my loss condition there. But I wait for them to throw. I don't want them to have too much energy and go into that Beedrill and just hit that Drill Run. And this is super effective. So despite being a Steel type, double resisting those Poison Jabs, Drill Run gives Beedrill some fantastic coverage. And then, of course, Beedrill's going to be able to take down that Mew, no problem. I mean, Lickitung also had a move stored, so unless this Mew is running Focus Blast, this game was in the bag regardless. And it might be, honestly, with all the Chansey, etc. running around it. Like, any Pokemon that could be running Focus Blast might be running Focus Blast. Alright, we have Swampert, 3,500 Wonder. Alolan Raticate is a really tough lead. So I throw with poor timing here. I miscounted the switch and just throw the Drill Run. You should be baiting in these scenarios, I think. But Swampert throws his energy anyways, realizing that it's not going to do too much against Lickitung. Lickitung is going to come in and just farm all the way down here. Swampert tries to, I guess, maybe fake the Fire Blast, but no shot. I'm not going to shield Fire Blast anyways. Regardless, I just want to save these shields for Primeape. I've already grabbed shield advantage with Beedrill, which is its primary job in a lot of these games. And Lickitung is absolutely awful versus Alolan Raticate. So we're going to finish Licking down. I'm going to throw one Body Slam to make them think I don't have something in the back for this thing. And then switch just in case I need to come back in and stall the clock with a, or snipe with a Body Slam later. Unfortunately, they have a Hypno in the back, so that's worst case scenario here. I'm going to double shield, but really this game is incredibly over. Just want to see how much damage these Body Slams do. Yeah, unfortunately it's a Hypno. So in this case, that's a triple hard counter team. Beedrill draws out the Alolan Marowak, but there's still a Hypno in the back, so the two backline Pokemon counter my backline Pokemon, their lead counters my lead. Not going to win those games, and honestly, decent amount of, not full hard counter games, but quite a few counter games. And we're going to have that set 3-2, but let this be a reminder, even if you go negative in a set, it doesn't mean your team doesn't work. Just keep trying. These are the next two sets. I'm going to swap into Primeape here because they swapped into their they led with a fighter. Primeape barely lives this. I don't know if this is IV dependent. Mine is a rank 1 Primeape. I actually have good IVs on these Pokemon for once. They actually throw their move here. I could have shielded to take switch, but instead I'm just going to take shield advantage instead. I'm happy about the way that went. 2 shields for Beedrill is honestly not too bad. Lickitung's able to lick down, and unfortunately this Machamp able to get to a move versus Lickitung first. That's okay. Lickitung's kind of dead weight anyways because it's locked in with the Machamp. I'm going to go in with the Body Slam before switching though, and grab that shield, so that now if I get a farm down opportunity, I should be able to beat whatever's in the back. So now with a shield advantage, Beedrill actually destroys Magneton, even though Magneton, especially Shadow Magneton, is going to get to its moves faster than Beedrill. The Drill Run one-shots. Discharge by one-shot too. Magneton? Okay, Magneton wins CMP versus Primeape. It might be the squishiest Pokemon in the entire Kanto Cup meta. And this thing is Shadow. You see how much those poison jabs were doing? Double resisted poison jabs. Either way, gonna shield up a cross chop here. I mean, they're not getting to their next move anyways. And they know it. They're gonna concede and grant me this victory. And that was with a fighter lead, right? So just goes to show we can, you've got to fight fighter with fighter. Dewgong lead. So we're going to stay in for a little bit. This is something you'd love to have Primeape on. Beedrill's not too happy about it. But the goal here, tank an Icy Wind, because you want to waste their energy. The debuff, going to throw 1, 2, 3 more licks, 2 more licks, get the Power Whip off, and then swap to Beedrill, clear the debuff. The thing is, their second Icy Wind round is only 4, so they're actually going to get there quite early. Not going to shield because they might have a counter to Beedrill and might be able to just farm it down. In comes Blastoise, and I'm going to go for the X-Scissor on the first one because I'm unsure if I can make it to another move if I go for Drill Run. And then it looks like I will be able to make it to the Drill Run, so I'll throw the Drill Run next. And because they don't have a very hard counter for Beedrill, it makes me confident that they likely don't have a hard counter for Primeape in the back. Lickitung can come here and soak up the Hydro Cannon. And Primeape with a 1 shield or 2 shields against only 1 shield should be able to clean up Dewgong / whatever's in the back, and we'll see what it is. I'm thinking triple water. Every time it's water in the front, water in the back, it's always triple water. People just love it for some reason. And Shadow Victory Bell would feast on a team like this. Just saying. But no one's playing it. Either way, they shield up the Night Slash because they want to debuff. Get those debuffs on my Primeape. Because, yeah, Lapras is in the back. But unfortunately, it doesn't really matter for them. Primeape still does quite a bit of damage. Even debuffed. And we're going to throw with good timing there. Just make sure we don't catch some Air and Ice Shards and somehow accidentally lose this game. Primeape able to just counter down the Lapras and then punch down that Dewgong as well. Going absolutely ham at the end. That was ABA double Ice Water. I'm not sure why people adjust their teams to the meta so much. It must be awfully frustrating losing these RPS games. Anyways, Mew lead Electrode, and in comes the Primeape. So I'm going to come in with the Beedrill. This is a much better matchup for Beedrill than Machamp, because you don't even need to shield these moves. There's nothing Primeape can do that can force you to shield before you can get to a move that KOs it. So in this case, they trade shields. That's fine. I'll shield my Beedrill. I know exactly what's coming. This isn't a bait game. It's just a Night Slash. And then I'm going to be able to farm this Primeape down. So not only are we even shields, but Beedrill comes out of this with a full drill run. And Mew does not want to come back into a loaded Beedrill, but it does. So this makes me think right away it's double fighter with Machamp in the back. It's kind of scary. Kind of. But I'm going to throw this X-Scissor. Even if they don't shield, I'm going to go right into the Primeape regardless, so that we can get that even matchup with the Machamp. I know I win CMP, so I'm just going to throw that Night Slash. As long as it lands, we're good. But they didn't throw either. They just somehow didn't get their move through, which is unfortunate. Likely European player or something like that. Unfortunate. But gonna get to that Night Slash regardless. Win CMP even if they had the extra move. And win this game. Lickitung was also still alive. So, Double Fighter. I like the team a lot, honestly. I really contemplated running something similar to Double Fighter, and that's how this team actually came about in the first place. Yeah, but all these battlers, they're all on the leaderboard. No one I'm playing is not on the leaderboard. These are all very high-level battlers. We have Ewax swap into Wigglytuff. This makes me think it's Double Charm, and Double Charm would not be good for this team. Shadow Beedrill, though, biggest charm counter in the entire game, farms Wigglytuff all the way down, and has all this energy to work with. Almost 2 drill runs. So, Alolan Marowak comes back in. It's locked against Lickitung. I don't expect them to shield it. This next X-Scissor, I kind of don't expect them to shield either. I thought it would take out, but it doesn't. So instead, I probably should have thrown that drill run in hindsight, but hindsight's 2020. Gonna come in with the Lickitung. I expected a Charmer in the back, but it's a Primeape, and double shield Primeape versus double shield Primeape with 2 shields is just gonna be a counter down fest, and my opponent knows it, and saves us both some time. Probably sick of dealing with Chanseys, won some fast games. And last game of the set, we have Magneton lead. We're both going to swap right away. My opponent probably thinks I have like Minority Report level genius or something like that, swapping my Beedrill into an Alolan Muck before it even happens. No, we're both playing ABB probably. This drill run KOs the Muck. In comes Magneton, and that's fine. I'll let this move through, I think. Magneton outpaces, so every shield I use, they are going to be able to get a shield back. In this case, I actually find out that Primeape loses CMP to Magneton, so I'm going to have to shield here, and my move gets thrown. Very unfortunate, but at this point, they can switch out, so there's no point to undercharge. I thought about it, and then in comes Grimer, and they just leave. So I expected an ABB team, and it was literally the definition of ABB. Very spicy team, I like it. Either way, we're going to get... Is that 5 wins? Is this a 5-0? Up to 34-86. Remember that this just was preceded by a 2-3 set. Many people would just give up after a 2-3 set. I get lots of comments about how a team, you went 2-3 with one of my team once and it sucked, so don't run it or something like that. I don't know. You can have everyone has 2-3 sets with teams. Either way, you guys are probably thinking, what about Chansey? Why has there been no Chansey? So, you know what? Once I hit that 5-0 and got up to 34 80s, guess what? All the Chansey appears. And I wonder if that's because Chansey has been kind of, as predicted in my meta-analysis video for channel members and Patreons, Chansey is going to be probably one of the strongest Pokemon in this cup. A lot of people on the leaderboard, like on the front page, because that's all of who I'm running to in this set, are Chansey players. And I don't know if I'm surprised. I don't think I am. Either way, see, that Hyper Beam does even quite a bit of damage to something like Lickitung. Unfortunately, I couldn't go in with my Primeape because they had a loaded Chansey, and I'm saving my Primeape for their Lickitung as well. So they've got a Lickitung and a Chansey. I kind of expected them to maybe be running a triple normal cheese team where they can kind of overcome all these fighters with just raw bulk. And that was my only hope. So I'm going to wait until they throw, swap in, and there's the Nidoqueen, and that's it. So Lickitung, Nidoqueen, Chansey, ABA. Jeez, that's kind of crazy. It was ABB. This team definitely stands a better shot against it. And I think the only way I could have beaten No Trouble Clef here is by staying with the Lickitung against his Lickitung and winning Switch. Getting Beedrill against Nidoqueen, and then... but I would have to burn a shield too. Like, there's so many things I would have had to do here to win that game. Either way, you know what? Not enough Chansey. Let's see more Chansey. We got a Hypno lead. That's a big Chansey red flag here. In comes the Lickitung, which is like guaranteed Chansey at this point. Gonna shields, I think. I realize at this point my Primeape is the MVP of the team. Right? It has to be able to deal with this Lickitung, and is my best answer to Chansey. I don't really have another answer. Gonna no shield this. I know I can no shield a Body Slam and farm the rest of the way down. Unfortunately, this Chansey will have a 2 shield advantage. Hypno comes back in, gonna throw a Night Slash with good timing, but unfortunately, I probably won't be able to get another Night Slash off. I do get the attack boost, but too little too late. Get the shield as well. In comes Chansey, and that should have been my first sign when I knew they were going to have a Chansey, or second sign, knew they were gonna have a Chansey in the back. If they shield Night Slash on Hypno, for sure a Chansey. In this case, Shadow Beedrill, not the best Chansey answer. There's some real big issues with Chansey, including the fact that it's Psychic as a move. But, yeah, at least my Beedrill is locked on the Chansey instead. I'm going to have to swap here to keep my Beedrill alive. These games often go to timeout, so keeping 2 Pokemon alive is very important. Against this Chansey, I'm farming up as much as I possibly can. They're just letting me farm up too, which is nice. This Hyper Beam deals quite a bit of damage. That's okay. These Body Slams, they add up too, especially on the Hypno. And I'm going to farm up more on this Hypno, throw with good timing. I probably should have even shielded the Chansey. Hyper Beam does more damage than any of these punches will. I'm assuming it's running a punch, not Focus Blast. And we're going to make a nice little catch on this Hypno here. This is why we kept Beedrill alive in the first place. Because of this, we'll be able to save a shield. KO this Hypno soon. I don't think this Body Slam quite does it, but the resultant licks... No, not quite. I'm going to have to shield this punch and then race this Chansey to a move, which generally isn't a hard thing to do, but it had a little bit of energy when it switched out. I'm going to be able to get this nice Body Slam off on the Chansey and lick down the Hypno. Yeah, so Chansey definitely beatable with this team. You might be thinking, yeah, Lickitung, not good versus Chansey. Beedrill, not good versus Chansey. Primeape, good versus Chansey, but in the Zero Shield, it still loses. So how does this team beat Chansey? Well, you know what? Was one time enough? Nidoqueen lead. I wonder what this could be. Top 50 players? How did they get to the top 50? Nidoqueen lead. I wonder if this could be potentially a Chansey and a Lickitung in the back. Well, we'll find out pretty soon here. Lickitung versus Nidoqueen lead. You want to soft lose it in this case because of just the raw amount of Chansey teams in the back with a Nidoqueen lead I found. Or even if it's not Chansey, it's stuff that's weak to fighting, so Primeape can absolutely clean up if you just let it get low and have Beedrill kind of take it down. In this case, I've decided that I want my Primeape to live this time. We're going to double shield it and keep this energy for the Nidoqueen when it comes in, so we can just eliminate it. And I don't even know if they'll bring their Nidoqueen, because they might bring in their Chansey to soak the energy, which they do. So either way, Night Slash is more DPE, gives you this chance of boost. So I'm going to throw one Night Slash, and then Ice Punch when this Nidoqueen swaps in, grab that last shield, and then swap to Beedrill to preserve the HP on my Primeape so I can farm down without having to shield. In this case, this Chansey is still remaining. This is not over. I have 3 Pokemon and they have a Chansey, and this game is not over. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's absurd. So gonna throw these drill runs. They do a little bit more DPE. They're actually gonna shield. I honestly was thinking about baiting there too, just because they know this is the highest damage charge move that's gonna come out on them. They go for the Psychic. In this case, I'm gonna go in with the Primeape and attempt to catch move. I can't count Chansey. I can't count past 10. Chansey, you need to count to 14. So as someone who only has 10 fingers or 10 toes, I can only count to 10. In this case, I thought I got to the Night Slash, but it was a big mistake against this big ML. And I should have really kept that Night Slash. So instead, I'm going to have to race to the finish here. Body Slams versus Pounds. But pound for pound, Chansey's not quite going to cut it against Lickitung here. Lickitung's going to be able to get to that final Body Slam. If they were able to pound me down, they would have been able to win. So that's 3 Chansey games in a row as soon as I hit the low, like just under 3,500s. That's kind of weird, right? Couldn't possibly be that Chansey is this good of a Pokemon and that Niantic really should have banned it. No, could not have been. Either way, Ashish, another fantastic battler. And he has got the hard counter lead and the hard counter switch. But unfortunately here, he lags. 2-turn lag showing its face, allowing me to get to this this Night Slash, boosted Night Slash. He lets the Hypno go down. This is a big mistake. I don't think he knew I was running Beedrill. Beedrill, one of the best Machamp counters in the game. Gonna be able to easily shield once through this. I didn't think he had the Rock Slide, but he actually did. So good thing I shielded just in case. In this case, he just gets the 3 more counters. There's no way this one's a Rock Slide. And in comes the Grimer or Muck. In this case, what I really should have done is just throw X Scissors. All I need to do is get some damage on this thing because, I mean, Lickitung is going to deal some damage to Body Slam. So throwing those drill runs, big mistake. I could have just thrown 3 X Scissors at that time instead. Now I have to swap out because I was scared that I might get Poison Jab down. But probably realistically only with the debuff would I get Poison Jab down, which I guess happened on my Lickitung anyways. I'm gonna throw these Body Slams just in case they swap out. And Machamp comes in, which is gonna allow my Beedrill to get one more Poison Jab off, and then the energy advantage that it's gonna need to get to that X Scissor, which is the Alolan Grimer. So we'll pick up another win there. Alright, Alolan Graveller lead. This one's interesting because you can't really swap into Beedrill. What I'm going to do here is soak some damage. Go for the bait. Ooh, that's risky. I would have went for the Power Whip. Hindsight. And just try and get to the Power Whip. Yeah, I'm playing this one different. I'm not playing an ABB just because my Beedrill doesn't really have that much play against Graveller. It does with an energy advantage. I really should have thrown the Body Slam, but and hope they weren't counting. But either way, we're going to go with the Primeape. Here, I kind of have to hope that it's not a Stone Edge, and I don't think they're at a Stone Edge. So Rock Blast comes out. Primeape going to be able to take down Graveller. In comes Hypno. Oh man, Hypno against this backline. If only we had drawn it out by switching an ABB. But it's kind of funny how that works. Both these Pokemon, Beedrill and Primeape, are pretty good against it. They don't want to shield their Hypno because they want to save their shields. I'm going to let my Primeape go down, come in with the Beedrill, and then they just insta-swap. And this is why you save 2 shields for Beedrill. Obviously going to shield here. I thought they only threw 6 counters. But what are these shields going to do anyways? Either way, can't really afford to shield this one. I thought it was a cross chop anyways. And we have 2 X Scissors for this Hypno, even if they're going to sneak their moves through. Even if there was a Hypno in the back against just a Beedrill and a Primeape. Stranger things have happened. I'm going to be able to throw 2 X Scissors here and finish off this Hypno and this set. So let's see where this set puts me. 4-1 up to 35-26, which leaderboard isn't updated yet, but pretty sure that's front page of the leaderboard. I'm sure you guys will all see in the video title or whatever. And that's without Chansey. So I don't know if that's I feel like that's an accomplishment. I feel like without Chansey is an accomplishment of that I can say. But yeah, honestly, Niantic really needs to listen to people. They really need to take some advice or maybe consult. Like, it doesn't have to be me. It could be any. You could have asked any like high level player if they should have banned Chansey from Kanto Cup, and the answer would have been the same. And it's so astonishing to me that they don't do this, because so many other games do this. Dota does this. They ask their pro players what they think of the patches before they release them and stuff like that. I don't know why Pokemon Go or Niantic doesn't do this. It just seems like such a no-brainer. But until then, we'll keep getting Bronzor dominated, Chansey dominated cups, and just wish we could have some better cups. Oh well. Anyways, yeah, last video of this season, last gameplay video of this season. So this is the final run. It's a bit of a long one, despite the games being short. But yeah, as always, thanks for watching.